to another episode of Popcorn Heroes.
Yeah.
I am your host, Orlando. With me, as always, is Pedro.
Hello.
And today, guys, we're going to review Sonic
the Hedgehog.
All right, yeah. Like always, we're going to give our quick spoiler-free thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to jump into our rating.
No summary this time?
Summary. Oh, yeah, summary. Every day summary, always.
All right.
So, summary, spoiler-free thoughts, spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Kick it off, Pedro.
Cool. So Sonic the Hedgehog is based off the video game Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah, this does a cool reinterpretation of this world with all these little animals and shit. And the rings have these portal capabilities, which is interesting as well. But that's pretty much the explanation of it. So he's raised by an owl. I don't know too much about the Sonic lore aside from like the obvious stuff. So like him being raised by an owl was like totally new to me. But so it's pretty much him leaving his home and getting stranded on Earth, and he has to stay secret because his powers. A lot of people are after his powers. So it's pretty much him on Earth, bored out of his mind, and zooming fast and making friends. And then Jim Carrey, aka Dr. Robotnik, comes into play to try and harness his power. So a lot of video game references and shenanigans come into play. But it's a pretty straightforward video game adaptation.
Yeah. Good synopsis, Pedro.
Thanks.
So let's get to you first. 1 out of 5. What's your rating for this movie?
I actually give this movie a 4. I really liked it.
Shit.
I had a lot of... I went into it with the lowest of low of expectations. The only reason why I went to watch it was because they... I wanted to give the movie money for listening to the fans by changing the design of Sonic. Because that shit looked awful. Everyone thought it was awful, and they changed it, and they made it look awesome. So when I saw that in the trailers, I'm like, the movie still looks like shit, but you know what? Fuck it. Because you guys listen to us. All right, I'll give you opening weekend money. And then...
Weekend money.
Yeah, to beat Birds of Prey. But that's a whole other thing. And I was not disappointed. I was pleasantly surprised. I had a lot of fun watching it. There was a lot of good references to it, to the video games. Jim Carrey was fucking awesome. I haven't seen him in anything in a while, so it was nice seeing him being wacky and stupid. You know,
Again.
back to like the old, yeah, as usual.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it in so long that it felt nice seeing it again because, you know, like Liar Liar, The Mask, like all the stuff that he's like really famous for, Dumb and Dumber, that's all like 90s shit technically. So he hasn't really done much as far as like wackiness in the 2000s, just like 1 or 2 movies. So it was just kind of nice to see that again. And I love the character Sonic. I love the dude from Parks and Rec that voiced him.
Ben
yeah.
Schwartzman or something like that.
Hello. Or he would always do the whole...
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I didn't even recognize it was him. I saw it from an interview, and I was like, holy shit, he did a really good job. So I liked him, and I love Sonic. I love Robotnik. And just the movie didn't take itself serious. It was essentially a kid's film, but... yeah, it just had fun, and it embraced the source material and the silliness of the premise to just make, to me, a really fun movie. So, and it took me by complete surprise. So
yeah,
there it is. 4 out of 5. Really liked it.
Yeah, I would give it man, you know, I really like it too. I give it a 4. I don't really, I didn't settle on 3.5, but
yeah,
I mean, I didn't like. Yeah, I didn't love it. Yeah, but I really liked it. Yeah,
exactly.
4, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
you didn't love it, so it's not a 5.
Yeah. I really liked it. Yeah, I think you're right. I like Jim Carrey. He has a certain sense of comedy that only he can do.
Yes, everyone else would be annoying, but he has it.
Everyone else would be kind of stupid and like wacky, and I think it's because like we're already used to him.
It could be because I that thought did cross my mind. I'm like, anyone else, this would bomb and I wouldn't be laughing, but because it's him, there's just something about it. I don't know if it's his overacting or it's just his energy.
Yeah,
something. Maybe.
Yeah, it's good seeing him in that element. He really hasn't lost a beat in terms of comedic timing.
Definitely. There were even some jokes that weren't that great, but he landed them, and I'm like, because it's you, this is funny.
Right. I agree. I did enjoy that. The plot overall is very predictable.
Absolutely.
It's very just standard, especially now with superhero movies and stuff like that. But
superhero origins.
Yeah, it does a good job though of like keeping it fun, keeping it light for kids. It's point A to point B plot. John Marston. No, not John Marston.
James Marsden.
James Marsden.
John Marsden. Red Dead Redemption.
James Marsden does a good job as well as always. He really. I'd seen him in many movies. I never hate his character. Like he kind of plays the same kind of character in every movie.
His character is always a bitch.
Yeah.
He always plays a bitch character.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
There's a movie I forgot that he lost a girl. What movie was it?
He lost a girl in like 3 of his movies. He lost a girl in Superman. Because remember, Lois Lane.
Uh-huh.
He lost a girl in, I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm going to click his name on Wiki. We're going to go on this tangent right quick.
Cause I remember him like...
X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Straw Dogs. That's one too. It's a remake.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's it for now. There's a bunch of... I didn't realize he was in so many fucking movies.
He's in a lot of shit, man.
There's so much shit I was like, my God, it's way more movies. But those are his big ones. He was in Notebook. I didn't know he was in Notebook.
Oh, yeah, that's the movie I'm thinking about. He lost a girl. I was like, there's a big movie where he
lost a girl in Notebook. He
gets with the main girl in Notebook.
Oh my God, he lost a girl in Notebook. Then I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, the guy's got a thing. Well, he stayed with the girl in this one. Spoiler alert, I suppose, if that even was one.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Overall, I think he does a good job of being like the side character, the sidekick in a way. I will get into spoilers, but yeah, I think their dynamic works. I think for the most part,
the dynamic worked.
Yeah, as a duel, it worked really well. So yeah, overall, good movie. Had a good time.
Cool.
All right, so guys, we're gonna jump into spoilers.
Yep.
Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers.
So this movie is basically about Sonic retrieving his rings that got stuck in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And or San Diego.
San Francisco. And James Marsden drives him. Yeah.
Drives him to San Francisco,
where he's gonna get the job anyways.
But the thing is like, dude, you're the fastest.
Right.
But they explained it
they explained it in a silly way, but I thought the same. I'm like, just fucking point to it. He just went, I hit the water and now I'm back.
Obviously you went too far. Like,
right.
I just found out was funny how like he needed him to go for the ride, but technically he didn't have to. He didn't have to at all.
No, but yeah, I thought the same thing. But Sonic, from the get-go, they show that he is very immature, very like insane. That's why he talks to himself so crazy and all that. So I kind of like it because his character has always been charismatic and douchey, essentially. And I thought this movie did a really good job of giving him essentially a backstory to explain why he's like that, why he's so cocky, why he's so douchey, why he's constantly talking to himself, why he's crazy, wacky, talks real fast, just like everything. Just pretty much shows that he's been alone for so long and it's like, oh my God, finally I wanted to get that off my chest. Oh my God. And it's like, whoa, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
So not only does he run like 1,000,000 miles an hour, but he speaks that way. So, but I never understood why he would do that in the cartoons and stuff like that. But this one actually really grounded it.
In the cartoon, it was more of like he was the leader, so it's like you have a right to be like douchey and
like
cocky.
cool,
yeah, because everyone looked up to him, and then he was the savior of the world. And in this one, it kind of sort of like it was like an ego thing. This one was kind of like, well, I have no one around me, so I need to boost myself up. I need to reassure myself.
Right.
And
you got this. Yeah.
Yeah, and the wackiness came from like that, of being alone and being like by himself. I think if there's a sequel and they introduce other Sonic characters,
which we already know who they will. There's obviously no point in hiding it. But.
Yeah, but so I feel like with Tails being involved in the sequel, there's a sequel. I feel like you're gonna see that cocky douchiness because then Sonic will be the main person, the main like ringleader. Yeah,
and I got a feeling Tails is gonna be like the brain, so Tails is gonna be like correcting him.
Yeah,
like no, technically is this, and he's like, yeah, whatever. I know my shit. So that'll be their banter of back and forth.
Yeah,
which will be different from this guy. So I thought that was kind of cool. In the very beginning, when they're on that island that was essentially a Sonic level where it had the loops and everything, which I thought was kind of nice. And they even had the music. They had the tribe that was after him in the very beginning. Those are the tribe of echidnas. And that's essentially that's essentially what Knuckles is. Knuckles is part of that crew.
That's what Amanda was saying. We thought we like, they look a lot like Knuckles.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's the same. I don't know the story of Knuckles per se. I just know he started off as like an anti-hero.
Yeah, he was like the
antagonist.
anti-hero. Yeah.
Yeah. So
sure.
I'm assuming he's part of that tribe somewhere. And whenever he uses the rings, I guess to get back or whatever, that'll come into play.
Okay.
Shit, he might even be the villain with Robotnik, and then they team up, or I don't know. Maybe that would be too much for a part 2. Maybe they'll just stick with Tails, but who knows?
Right. I mean, it could be Knuckles that maybe Knuckles knows. I mean, if he's part of the tribe, he maybe knows that Sonic left, and he used the rings to go find out where he's at. Maybe he ends up in the Mushroom World, finds Robotnik. Then takes Robotnik to Earth. Earth, he knows where Knuckles is at, and they team up. So that's super plausible.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And it'll be 2v2, and then yeah, that makes sense.
We just wrote the movie.
I love the obvious reference to when he's in Montana. It's Green Hills, and Green Hills is the very first level in Sonic. So I thought that was a really cool reference. So how did you feel about the marketing used the shit out of Baby Sonic? Which obviously they use the marketing because of all the Baby Yoda stuff for Mandalorian.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Because after Mandalorian premiered, that's when they released the poster for Sonic. They did the redesign first.
Right.
They showed the redesign. Everyone was like, this is amazing, which, it's so much better. And then Mandalorian premiered, and all the Baby Yoda shit is everywhere. And then they were like, hey, look, we got a Baby Sonic.
Right.
So it's just like, that was all over the Japanese marketing material. I thought it would be a bigger part. I don't know why, for some reason. And then when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that was just clearly to compete with the whole baby hype,
right?
With all the Yoda stuff going on. How'd you feel about Robotnik at the end when he finally gets like his full form or whatever? Did you think that was too wacky?
I thought it was fine, but that was an after credit scene, so it's kind of like
the mid-credit.
It was kind of ruined by the trailers.
It was.
So
in I think the second trailer they had him in that form, and I'm like, why would you
show
do that?
it? Yeah,
if he's not gonna have that.
And I thought they nailed it for the most part, the look and everything.
Mm-hmm. I loved it. The movie just had this overall just wackiness where everything that was over the top and too kiddie is just believable in that world.
Right.
A normal movie, I would have been like, this is too fucking weird. But for this, it works. And but yeah, the movie was essentially like a typical buddy cop type movie. It was the back and forth banter.
Yeah.
I thought James Marsden's character in the beginning, I was like, oh man, he's so cheesy and so like ridiculous. He was just like the I don't know, like a 50s like good dad type thing, and he was saying cheesy jokes, and I was like, oh. But then once you got Sonic into play, and then the way they interacted with each other, I'm like, okay, they're both on that level, so it just works out just fine. But yeah, man, overall, I just had a lot of fun with that interaction.
Yeah, and I liked the fact that, I mean, this is such a comedy, so. We have the comedy between the dynamic between Marston and Sonic, the comedy where Robotnik delivers.
Oh man, yeah, Robotnik's so fucking good.
And then we also have the comedy where the sister-in-law at the house.
Oh yeah.
So
all tied up.
And each comedy is different. Each comedy is like a different way of delivering jokes. A setting is different. So it made a way to like the dual jokes of them, getting along. Doesn't get stale. Robotnik wacky jokes doesn't get stale.
Right, because it's not one type of joke.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
And then you have the relationship with the sister-in-law who hated him for some reason, but they didn't really explain why. Like,
they didn't explain either. I think they were just kind of making fun of the fact that it's like, oh, the in-laws, they hate each other. There's that stereotype that the in-laws always hate whoever.
The person ends up with,
right. It's just no matter who, the sisters, the parents, there's always that stereotype. So there really isn't a needed explanation. It's just kind of like the in-laws. Oh no, I got to spend time with them.
Of course, yeah. So that's
they always expect more type thing.
Yeah. So having those three different dynamic delivered lines of jokes was pretty refreshing.
Yeah. I don't know how your theater was, but my theater, like, none of the adults were laughing, but the kids, there were a lot of kids in my theater. They were fucking dying of laughter, and I was one of them. I was just cracking up. Every time Jim Carrey did something so stupid, like, Stone! And then he'll start, like, I don't even know. There was just so much funny shit that he would do. The way he's, like, insults people and everything. I'm like, oh, man, so good to see old school Jim Carrey back.
Yeah.
Like I really missed it. Just watching him, like, Like you said, he hasn't missed a beat.
No, he really hasn't. And I did like the while my theater also was kind of quiet and there wasn't
oh man, so that means you were fucking laughing your ass off, I bet.
Sometimes, like I said, like not every joke landed for me, but there's some that did.
Well, when you laugh pretty fucking loud.
Yeah, I laughed today really loudly at work, and I'm just like, I shouldn't laugh too loudly because I'm at work, so I should be laughing like obnoxiously. But yeah, so it was like me and the kids are laughing. It was pretty funny. The movie in the movie theater. But yeah, something about kid laughter. Like when they started laughing, I just started laughing, I guess. So, but yeah, overall, man, that movie is just a fun, good movie. It interesting enough, it made more money than Pokemon. I
know. I was surprised. Very surprised.
And I mean, granted, Pokemon came around, Avengers, it came around.
Right. It was already around. I wouldn't even say, I don't like saying superhero fatigue, but like wallet fatigue. Because there were so many back-to-back movies.
Yeah, it was around, I think, Hobbs and Shaw, or no?
No.
It came around.
No, this is like March.
Yeah, so it came around Avengers, and I think maybe Spider-Man.
Like in the build-up to it. So I think Detective Pikachu kind of set it off, and then after that, it was just bam, 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 movie after movie after movie.
Yeah, so yeah, you're absolutely right. Because right now we don't have anything huge like Sonic.
Right. There's. I mean,
nothing. Birds of Prey is also huge.
Right, but that didn't even make. So Birds of Prey made less than half of what this movie made on opening weekend. This movie made like 60-something million.
Yeah.
And Birds of Prey made 20-something million.
Wow.
So yeah, that's huge. And that's something me and Armando were talking about. We were like, oh my God, if this movie makes like double of Birds of Prey, that's a total flop. And then bam, a total flop for Birds of Prey, I mean.
Yeah, of course.
That was insane.
Yeah.
But I think this is a nice, I mean, Detective Pikachu to me was the turn for video game adaptations, but I think this is continuing the trend where they're not bad.
Right.
They may not be absolutely amazing, but they're fun. And they enjoy the source material. They don't try going too crazy to change it. Like, Super Mario Brothers, which is a guilty pleasure because I was raised with it. But when you watch it, you're like, this has nothing to do with Mario. This is totally out there, post-apocalyptic. Like, it's just fucking weird. And it's just referencing it. But Detective Pikachu obviously felt like it was in the world. This feels like it's in the world.
Right.
I feel like a lot of that has to do with the redesign, though. I can't even imagine if you would have looked like adultish and like Aki, like how he originally did. I don't know if stuff would have landed or felt the same.
I have to watch the trailer again for the old design because I don't remember it, but I know it was off-putting.
It was just...
It looked real, a little bit realistic.
Yes, that was the thing. He looked human-like. And it's like, no, choose one or the other. Mm-hmm. I mean, not one or the other. Just don't choose human because we don't like seeing... Like cats. If cats didn't teach you anything about that, then yeah. So... Yeah.
Another movie I wanted to go see, but...
Yeah, I wanted to see that one too, but then I found out that not all theaters have the real version. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna wait till the real version comes out. What is that shit?
Because they released like a updated res,
like a week after.
Yeah,
that was so stupid. So honestly, the people who worked on Sonic, they did the best fucking thing possible.
Yeah. I mean, I think they got the studio that did the redesign got shut down.
That
like
fucking
weeks
blows.
After, but you know how it is. Like you get booked for a movie and then
that's fucking bullshit. That's the same shit of like Life of Pi. So Life of Pi, they won awards and shit, and then the company that worked on it got shut down.
Yeah, and if people were boycotting, I remember that Oscar. Did you guys boycott?
Yeah, we boycotted that one. 2013, 14, something like that. Anyways, some of the other Easter eggs that popped up in this movie that I really liked is because I'm a huge fan of the Adventures of Sonic, which is like the old cartoon. And not the realistic cartoon where he's like saving the world. Not realistic. The action-packed one where he's saving the world. This is more of like the like the villain of the week, like Robotnik, where it's Super Kitty.
Yeah.
And that one he would constantly eat the chili dog, so it was kind of nice to see a reference.
Yeah, that he ate like one time. Yeah.
Yeah, to the chili dog while they were
the bar
starting the bar fight. I love that they gave him. They explained how he has his spinning ability, where he just fucks shit up. Because Sonic gets his ass whooped, but as soon as he starts that rolling thing, he just could like destroy all these machines and stuff. So it was kind of cool the way they explained that. So they pretty much made him like a bulletproof, like the Flash, which is nice.
Right. Only when he's actually spinning.
Right.
Yeah.
When he goes like Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that's a whole other thing. I wonder if they'll add it into the next movie or the movie after.
I thought they were gonna do that. Honestly, I was waiting for Golden Sonic to come out.
Right. I think it's too much, too early.
Yeah, because then you don't want to blow your load.
Yeah, because he's already going Super Saiyan Blue, and then he's gonna go like the real Gold Super Saiyan. No, that's just too much. Yeah, it's too many power ups for one movie. You got to save it for the next one.
Right.
Maybe against like Knuckles or some shit. You could do that. Fuck, I forgot what I was just gonna say. Oh, so one of the moments where I actually like, I wouldn't even say I not really that I screamed in the theater, but I was like, oh, that's awesome, was when he lost his rings. When he falls, like with the pouch, and then the rings are all scattered all over the place.
Yeah.
I kind of had this little like smile, like, oh man, that's kind of cool, because obviously in the game, when you get damaged, that's when the rings are all over the place, and that's when you got to run and collect them.
Oh, okay.
So that was
makes
cool.
Sense. That's a good reference.
That was a really cool reference. When it dropped, I was like, oh, I like it. That's pretty awesome. And then he's running to get the rings as he's being chased by Robotnik. So it was just a cool little like tongue-in-cheek thing. Oh, so the funny thing, here, I'll show you the photo. But the crazy old man that was like the Blue Devil, and he showed a drawing that was like super Aki looking. Here, let me see if I can twist this so you could see it. That is a famous like photo. Like a meme that was going around.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, step it up. It was pretty much like this little girl like drew it for her parents. Yeah. And that shit went viral. So everyone was using it for like all these dumb memes. Like gotta go fast, step it up, like type of thing.
Yeah.
And he just put it as a reaction image of just like looking stupid. So and when I saw him hold it up, I was cracking up. I was the only one laughing at that part.
So now that you saw that photo, do you know the Knuckles meme?
Yeah. Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
Yeah, I know the way. So
I'm excited for now Knuckles to pop up.
So here's the thing. Well, I mean, I guess it's slightly a tangent, sort of, but so the Knuckles meme, it's considered a racist meme now. Did you know that?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
For
so apparently, yeah.
Because of the accent?
Yeah. So apparently, a lot of like, I guess, fucking white supremacist dumbasses start using it as a way to like say like all Africans sound like that, or it's like a black thing or something. So they go, oh, do you know the way? Like making fun of it. To the point where, so someone had a banner for it during an Overwatch league, and then they fucking like they didn't blur it, but they cut away from it and they told them to put it down because it's considered a racist thing now. But I remember when it was big, before it became, I guess, a racist thing, but I was cracking up at all the do you know the way? It was it was pretty much the virtual chat where he was like following him around.
Yeah. I don't know. I see it with the accent, but like
it sucks when stuff like morphs like that.
Yeah, because honestly,
it's kind of like the Bachelor frog, the Pepe the frog. That was supposed to be kind of like a frog that's like depressed, and then of course it turned into an alt-right thing now, so that's part of the list. And it's kind of like in Watchmen, the Rorschach mask, it's something is I felt like it was like a metaphor for that stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like that did that. So I don't know if they would do a reference to that, because it's still for some people apparently a sensitive thing, but I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious because I remember what it was originally about. It was just silly.
It was just silly. It was just kids being not kids, but it could be people being people, and they're just silly. But
so apparently they were referencing some African show. I forgot from which country. But it was like a cop, and he'll show up and he goes, "Do you know the way of the gun?" And he'll say it like that, like, "Do you know the way of the gun?" And then I guess he was referencing it in the chat with the character. He's like, "Do you know the way?" Because remember, it's just a Knuckles character following them.
But I guess the origin is like the guy who said it. Is he black? Like, is he?
Oh yeah.
So then it's like if he does it and it blows up, like that's his creation. Like,
right. I don't know. It's silly. I hate when stuff like that like morphs into But I still love it for what it originally means, and I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
I mean, they kind of references, like, don't do the African, in
this movie, you think they referenced it?
No, they could kind of reference it in, like, the next...
Do you know the way? And then
and Knuckles like, I know the way. That's it. Like, that's it.
Well, without the voice. He would have to say it regularly.
Right.
Because if they do the voice, that's when everyone goes, oh, you can't,
you can't do that.
Not in 2022, or whenever in the movie comes out.
That's crazy. I mean, I get it, but it's just like
it's silly.
It's silly. Yeah, it's silly.
Another reference that I liked is so in some of the Sonic games, his name is Dr. Robotnik, and in other Sonic games, his name is Mr. Eggman. And it's just like, what name is it? And even if you look at the old instruction manuals, which games don't have anymore, but the old ones would have that, it would say one name or the other. So he didn't really have like a canon name until much later. And
it's weird that Sonic just started calling him Eggman.
Well, the way I took it kind of made sense to me because all of his drones are in the shape of eggs. Because remember, he's the Egg Lord and he's the Eggman.
Got it.
Not Egg Lord, Donut Lord.
Donut
sorry,
Lord, that's
Donut Lord, and then the Eggman.
I get it now. I got it. I was like, why are they calling you an Eggman?
Yeah, when I heard him say that, I'm like, that's a cool, natural way to do it because he gives everyone a nickname. Pretzel Lady, Eggman. So I'm like, that's cool because the games / cartoons never really explained it. It's just kind of like, I mean, his head kind of looks like an egg.
Yeah, exactly. And he's bald.
That is kind of true. His silhouette is egg-like, so.
Yeah, it's bald. So
but this did a good natural way of doing it because I'm like, Jim Carrey's clearly like lanky. He still looks like, what's his fucking character? Series of Unfortunate Events. He always still looks like that guy to me. So, especially when he had like the end credit crazy mustache and look, and I'm just like, yeah. But yeah, and I love the after credits. The mid credits with Tails, but the credit scene itself where everything looked 16-bit.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I love that. Yeah,
it was a cool throwback, and like I can only imagine now kids watching that movie and be like, "Oh, this is a game," or they didn't know it was a game. Like, "Oh, where can I buy it?" Looking up.
Yeah.
Going to
this couple that came with their daughter that was sitting right next to me. You can tell that they had her play the games. Yeah. Because she was super excited. This little girl. She was like jumping up and down. And then at the end, she was like, Tails is going to be in the next one. Oh my God. And she was like screaming, like jumping up and down. I'm like, oh, good parenting. Yeah. Having them play some retro games. Good job. So I thought that was kind of nice. But
I'd be surprised if the sales for Sonic, the game, like Sonic Mania, which is like the last Sonic game that was actually really good.
Wasn't Mania essentially a remaster of the old ones?
No, they're like new levels. They're like whole new levels.
Is that the one where you make your own character?
No, you play as Sonic, but it's like a new level, 8-bit,
16-bit.
16-bit, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd be surprised if there's not a spike in sales of that. Like how The Witcher 3 show came out.
And the books too. Yeah, books and games.
Yeah.
You're probably right. There's probably a fuck ton of people at least downloading the games, like digitally, just to play them again on Switch or PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. So, but yeah, that about wraps up all I want to say. I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah, me too.
Highly recommended, especially for fans of the game. Regular people might think, oh, this is a decent movie, but like fans of that or that were raised off the games or even the TV show, the cartoon, they'll really get this stuff and love it. So. Yeah. Highly recommended for them.
Same. All right, guys, that concludes our episode of Popcorn Heroes. Hope you enjoyed it. Follow us on social media. We are on Facebook and on Instagram. Leave us a like, a comment below. And we'll catch you next time for another episode.
Bye-bye.
Later.